I don't know about you, but I haven't switched off Void for a single second since Witch Queen came out, and I don't think I will be anytime soon. But, are there any parts I don't like? And what are my favorite parts? Stick around and I'll reveal all of that, and more. Now, starting off with our aspects, we have Chaos Accelerant. I really like this one. I always liked the Overcharge Nage, and I loved running top tree, especially with Axion Bolts. Axion Bolts did got nerfed a little bit, so the Overcharge versions don't do increased damage, so that kind of sucks. But they're still a good choice. And the Overcharge versions of Vortex is still really good, as well as Scatter Nades I think are really good, more so in PvE. And then last but not least, we have the Magnetized Nade, which turns into the handheld Supernova when overcharged, and it actually shreds yellow bar enemies. I did a whole video on all the new Void 3.0 nades. I'll link that in the description if you want to check it out, because I go really in depth on all the nades and where I think you should use them. Our next aspect is Child of the Old Gods. I've been really loving this lately, especially paired with an Empowering Rift. You can just do crazy damage, and it'll heal you when it's sucking on an enemy when you have the Empowering Rift, or you get grenade and melee energy back if you have the Healing Rift. I think it's really good. The area denial you get in PvP is absolutely insane, and in PvE, the way you can just crowd control the enemies, the thralls, anything really, weakening them, it's really good. I highly recommend using this if you haven't tried it out. It's a great aspect. Next up we have Feed the Void, which of course is Devour. When we can proc that every time we kill somebody with the Void ability, it's really good. I mean, you're going to get your full health back every time you kill somebody when you have your Devour on, and it's going to refresh the Devour. What a great ability. I mean, we've all always loved Devour, and the fact that we can use it with something like Nova Warp now, which is my favorite Void super, is absolutely amazing. And the mixing and matching you can do within Void 3.0 is just the best part about it, and what makes it the most fun to me. If you don't use Devour, you need to try it. Almost always use it. I actually haven't been using it. You don't have to use it if you want to use Chaos Accelerant. With the Child of the Old Gods, it's still a great combo, but I think Void with Devour is probably something you're going to want most of the time. Moving on to our nades, we have Vortex Nade here. I think it's a great choice. It sucked people in now. I don't know if it used to suck people in, but it does now. And the damage over time it does is great, whether against yellow bar enemies or bosses or in PvP, especially if you put on the one fragment that lets you weaken enemies with your nades. It's a great thing, especially the Overcharge version, because it gets an even bigger radius, and you can really block off a lot of places of the map and get some crazy crowd control, especially mixed with Child of the Old Gods. And I actually just made a Blink build video going over that exact build, so if you want to see that, I'll have that linked in the description. So like we were talking about, we still have Scatter Nades here, great option in PvE, I'd highly recommend checking them out. After that we have Magnetic Grenades, which aren't that great on their own, but you can overcharge them in the handheld Supernova, and absolutely decimate yellow bar enemies and whatnot, so I'd give it a try in PvE, probably wouldn't run it in PvP. Then we have our tried and true Axion Bolts. Now they did get nerfed, so they're not going to do as much damage when they're overcharged, but they're still good. They still have that big radius when they're overcharged and stuff. Still a great choice in PvP, especially for making your enemies reposition and whatnot. Not so good in PvE in my opinion, but I'd definitely run them in PvP if you like them. And last we have Void Spike, Void Wall, and Suppressor Nade, which were just added for the Warlocks. I wouldn't really run these in PvE. You can run them in PvP if you'd like. The Suppressor, of course, is going to be good anywhere just because the suppressing ability is so good in any kind of activity in the game. So if you like them, then run them, but I think the nades that you can actually overcharge are much better than those three. Moving on to the new melee, this thing can be absolutely insane. It's really good for PvE, especially if you have on the fragment that can let your Void ability kills explode enemies, then it just takes out an entire line of thralls. It can be really satisfying. But where I really like it is in PvP, especially once you start getting good with it. I've started really understanding it more, and the ways you can knock your enemies up and they just are hopeless and helpless once they're in midair, and you just take them out with a quick shotgun shot or anything else is extremely satisfying. And I'd really think once you just take the time, play with it for like 10 or 12 matches, you really start to see how good it can be at ruining your enemy's positioning and giving you the upper hand. Next up is just our movement abilities. We do actually have the final glide type, which is Balanced Glide, that we did not have before. So my theory is, since we have all four movement types now, maybe when we get Solar 3.0 and Arc 3.0, we might get Blink on them. I have a whole video on that theory. I'll put that in the description if you're interested in listening to me rant about bullshit for a little while. Next we have our rifts. Again, we have the Empowering Rift and the Healing Rift, just like always. They didn't get changed as far as I know, but they do act differently with your Child of the Old Gods depending on which one you have on, like I was describing earlier. So try them out with the Child of the Old Gods and see which one you like more, because I think they bring some really unique stuff to the table. Going into our supers here, we have a Slova Bomb. I would say check out this Slova Bomb again because it's not even slow anymore. This thing is zooming, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but it's really quick, and it's really good now. The tracking is still a little goofy sometimes. It'll get caught on walls or whatever, but it's way faster. So I definitely recommend giving it a try and see what I mean. As far as I know, Nova Bomb has done change and remains the same. Of course, it's going to be one of the best shutdown supers in the game, so if you'd like to run that, then keep running it. And last but not least, we have my favorite, which is Nova Warp. I absolutely love rotating around the map with this thing, and it's even been pretty good in PvE. I was using it, as you can see in the background footage right now, in my Witch Queen run through for the campaign, and it was going off pretty well. I could go in, the damage reduction was enough, I could stand next to enemies, even bosses just like this, and it's my absolute favorite. I love the other two as well, but Nova Warp just can't compare. It's out of their league, you know, in my opinion, and I think once you get good with it, especially since I'm a Blink user, it's the best, one of the best supers in the game, in my opinion. And the best part of all of this, of course, is our fragments. There's so many good ones. I mean, you had this one I was talking about earlier, where the void ability final blows make other enemies explode, which is really good in PvE. Here we can target enemies with grenades and get melee energy. Your melee final blows give you grenade energy, so you can go both the ways. You can probably put both those on and almost always have your grenade and melees up. This will make your vortex and void spikes and whatnot last longer. You can use all these and mix and match, make such amazing things. I don't think that one's too good. That's probably a good PvE one right there. Echo of Undermining. Weaken effect with your grenades. You lose 20 discipline though, so I don't know about that one yet. I'll have to test it a little more. That one right there, I haven't really tested either, but I have tested that in PvE actually a little bit. It can be very good. I actually really like Echo of Leeching to get your health regeneration right after a melee kill, which is so easy with the new melee. After suppressing a target, you get the mobility and all that. I haven't really tested that one much. And then I really actually do like Dilation. If you haven't tested that one, I would definitely suggest using it, especially in PvP, because the extra radar you get from it is really good. And of course we have some extra locked fragments here that we haven't got, and I think I heard that we're going to get those unlocked with the raid that's coming out, so that should be interesting. I don't know if you have to do the raid or what the entire deal is. I could be wrong, but I'm excited to get the rest of those. But yeah, I mean, the fragments just open everything up to the next level, and I absolutely love what they did with Void 3.0. And I'm sure a lot of you do too, but leave your opinions down in the comments. Tell me what you think they did right, which I think is about 99% of it, and tell me what you think they did wrong. I would have liked to see some more aspects, honestly. I like what we got, and I hope they release more in the future because they're really fun and really cool. So I hope we get some more in-depth, intricate ones in the future that we can really keep build crafting with, because like I said earlier, I'm a big Blink guy, so the more I get in Void 3.0, the better. But again, leave me your comments, tell me what you think. Also leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload in the future. Thank you a lot for watching, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed and just been here lately. If you want to join the Blinkfield Discord server, then that'll be linked in the description. But for now, have a great day, Guardians.